Hello children, in this video we are going to see about generation of computer. The phrase generation of computer refers to different hardware technologies used in computers. The word generation of computers refer to different hardware technologies used in computer. It provides a timeline of the growth in the computer industry. The referring of computers in terms of generation came into wide use only after 1946. There are 5 generations of computer. So how many generations are there in computer? 5 generations of computer. The generation of computer is based on the development or the timeline of growth in the computer industry. Okay, so based on the development or timeline growth of the computer industry, we can classify the computers into 5 generations. First generation computer. So first one is first generation computer. So first generation computer period is the year 1946 to 54. So in the year 1946 to 54, the computer is called as first generation computer. Okay, so the year 1946 to 54, human being used first generation computer. So first generation computer is marked by the use of vacuum tubes. Okay, so the first generation of computer is marked by the use of vacuum tubes. These computers are characterized by their large size, slow operation, high cost and low reliability. Okay, so these computers, that means first generation computers are large in size, and their operation is very slow and their cost is high and they are low reliable. Okay, so first generation computer is marked by the use of vacuum tubes and they are characterized by their large size, slow operation, high cost and low reliability. The working of first generation computer resulted in generation of huge amount of heat, and to control this, continuous maintenance and cooling was required. That means first generation computer, when it works, it generate huge amount of heat. Okay, so in order to control this huge amount of heat, we have to continuously maintain it, and the cooling was also required. So okay, so in order to control the generation of huge amount of heat, cooling was required. Not only that, we have to control this generation of huge amount of heat by the continuous maintenance. So the most well-known computers of these generations were ENIAC. ENIAC, the full form of ENIAC is Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, which is used in the year 1946. In the year 1946, there is a well-known computer which is the first generation computer called ENIAC. Okay, so ENIAC is the full form of ENIAC. The word ENIAC refers to Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, which is used in the year 1946. And so another one well-known computer which is used in the year 1949 is EDSAC. Okay, so the full form of EDSAC is Electronic Delay Storage Automatic Computer. Okay, so the full form of EDSAC is Electronic Delay Storage Automatic Computer, which is used in the year 1949. Another one well-known computer which is used in the first generation is EDVAC. So the full form of EDVAC is Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer, which is used in the year 1951. Okay, so these are the three well-known computer which they were used in first generation. Okay, so first generation computer example ENIAC, EDSAC and EDVAC. So here you can see the picture of the first generation computer. So as I have already told, they are large in size. Their operation is slow, but their cost is more, and they will generate large amount of heat. Okay, in order to control the generation of heat, we have to maintain continuously, and not only that, cooling also required in order to control the heat generation. Next one is advantages of first generation computer. So vacuum tube technology. So you know, first generation computer is marked by the use of vacuum tubes. Yes, so this vacuum tube technology made the development of electronic digital computers possible. Okay, so due to the vacuum tube technology, there is an introduction of electronic digital computers. These computers, that means first generation computers, are capable of performing computation in milliseconds. Okay, so within milliseconds they can perform lot of calculation. Magnetic tapes and magnetic drums were used as secondary memory. Okay, so secondary memory, the secondary memory used in the first generation computer are magnetic tapes and magnetic drums. Okay, so magnetic tapes and magnetic drums are used as a secondary memory in the first generation computer. Now, what are the disadvantages of first generation computer? They are too bulky in size. So they are large in size and they prone to frequent hardware failure. That means there is a chance to frequent hardware failure. So there was often a hardware failures in first generation computer. And third point is unreliable. That means first generation computer are unreliable and they generate large amount of heat. Non-portable means we cannot easily carry these computers from one place to another. That is non-portable. And the operation of first generation computers was very slow. Okay, so input which is given by the user and the output which the computer will give, that means a result which is given by the computer is very slow. Okay, so slow input and output operations. And these first generation computers required air conditioning for continuous cooling. Okay, you know that they are generating large amount of heat. In order to control these large amount of heat, it requires, that means first generation computer requires air conditioning for continuous cooling. And these first generation computer required machine language for programming. Okay, so they require machine language for programming. For instruction they require machine language. Next one is second generation computer. So second generation computer is used in the year 1954 to 64. So in the year of 1954 to 64, there is a second generation computer which is marked by the use of transistor. In the place of vacuum tubes, they used transistors. In second generation computer, it is marked by the use of transistor in the place of vacuum tubes. So transistor, you can see in this picture, this is called transistor. So transistor is a two-state device made from silicon. Okay, so it is a two-state device which is made from silicon. And these transistors are cheaper, smaller and produce less heat than vacuum tubes. Okay, so these transistors are cheaper in cost and they are very smaller in size and produce less heat than vacuum tubes. And the second generation computer processing capacity and speed of operation is built from transistor was higher than the first generation. Okay, so the processing capacity and speed of operation which is done by transistor was higher than the first generation. Advantages of second generation. So these second generation computers are more reliable, they are better portability. That means we can carry this computer from one place to another because of its small size. There is a less prone to hardware failure. That means less chance to hardware failure. They generated less heat. Okay, so second generation computer generate only less amount of heat. They are smaller in size as compared to the first generation. Okay, so comparing to first generation, the size of the second generation computer is very small. Now, disadvantages of second generation computers. So for second generation computer, frequent maintenance was required. Okay, so we have to often do maintenance work in second generation computer, and these second generation computer also generating heat, yes, so air conditioning was required. Now next, manual assembly of individual components into a functionary unit was required. That means manual assembly means grouping of individual components into a functionary unit. Means in order to work with this computer, we have to assemble the individual components into a functionary unit. Assemble means group into the we have to group the individual components into a functionary unit. This is one of the disadvantage of what second generation computer. So examples of second generator computers are, so the well-known examples for the second generation computers are IBM 70, IBM 1410, Atlas, then ICL 1901. Okay, so IBM 70, IBM 1410, Atlas, then ICL 1901. These are some of the well-known second generation computers. Now next one is third generation computers. Third generation computer is used in the year 1964 to 80. So in the year 1964 to 80 there was a third generation computer which is marked by the use of integrated circuit. Okay, so in third generation computer they used integrated circuits, which is also called as ICS. So short form of integrated circuit is ICS. Okay, so in the year 1964 to 80 there was a usage of integrated circuits. So what is meant by integrated circuit? They combine many transistor circuit into one chip. Okay, so integrated circuit means they combined many transistor circuit into one chip. This chip is only few millimeters in size. Okay, so this integrated circuit means many transistor circuits were combined into one chip which is very small in size, which is few millimeters in size. So the components present in the integrated circuit are transistors, resistors and conductors. So they are fabricated on semiconductor materials such as silicon. Okay, so they are made with a semiconductor material called silicon. Okay, so the components of integrated circuits are transistors, resistors and conductors. They are combined together into one chip which is called as integrated circuit, and they are made up of semiconductor material called silicon. At first only few components combined into chip. Okay, so first they combined only few components into the chip, which is called a small scale integration. So it is also called as SSI. So short form of small scale integration is SSI. So in this only few components they combined into chip. Later they combined 100 components into the chip, which is called as medium scale integration. Okay, so later they combined 100 components into the chip, which is called as medium scale integration. So here you can see the picture of the third generation computer, and this is the picture of integrated circuit. So here you can see the resistor, transistor, okay, which is made of what? Semiconductor material called silicon. Okay, so at first there is few components, they combine few components into one chip, which is called small scale integration, and after that they combined 100 components into the chip, which is called as medium scale integration. Now advantages. So what are the advantages of third generation computers? It is more reliable and they generated less heat. They are smaller in size, less prone to error, so there is less chance to do mistake, and it required only less maintenance, and they consume only less power. Okay, so less power consumption, and they are comparatively portable. Portable means we can carry easily from one place to another. So what are the advantages of third generation computer? They are more reliable and generated less heat. They are smaller in size and there is less chance to error and required less maintenance. Their power consumption is very less, and they are portable. Disadvantages. So disadvantages of these third generation computers are highly sophisticated technology was required for the manufacture of IC chips. That means highly advanced technology was required for the manufacture of these integrated circuit chips. Okay, so this is one of the major disadvantages. We have to provide more advanced technology for the manufacture of IC chips. Not only that, air conditioning was required. So to use the third generation computer, there is a requirement of what? Air conditioning. So examples of third generation computers are IBM 360 series, Honeywell 6000 series, then PDP. What is meant by PDP? Personal Data Processor. Okay, Personal Data Processors 11x45, IBM 370, IBM 168. Okay, so these are some of the well-known examples of third generation computer. So what are they? IBM 360 series, Honeywell 6000 series, then PDP. PDP means Personal Data Processor 11, Personal Data Processor 45, then IBM 370 and 168. Now next about fourth generation computer. So the fourth generation computer is used in the year 1980 to till date. Okay, so we are using now also fourth generation computer. So in fourth generation computer, there is an development of large scale integration. So what is meant by large scale integration or LSI? Integrate. So in this they integrate or they combined 30,000 components into a single chip. Okay, so first they combined only few components into single chip. Again they combined 100 components into a single chip. Now in large scale integration they combined about 30,000 components into a single chip. Now this chip can hold more than one. So after this large scale integration, there is a very large scale integration chips which is called VLSI, very large scale integration. In this chip they holded more than 1 million components. Okay, they would hold more than one, in only one chip they hold more than 1 million components, which is called as very large scale integration chips, which is also known as VLSI chips. So this fourth generation computer produces a complete central processing unit which is called a CPU, and it also contains main memory and other similar devices on a single IC chip. So in a single IC chip itself there is a central processing unit and there is a main memory. Okay, so in the year 1980 to till date we are using fourth generation computer. In this fourth generation computer there is a large scale integration chip in which the 30,000 components combined into a single chip, and there is a very large scale integration chips in which they hold more than 1 million components in a single chip. So this single chip can produce a complete central processing unit, and they have main memory and other similar devices on a single IC chip. So here you can see the microprocessor. Then this is the computer which is used in fourth generation by IBM. Now advantages of fourth generation computer: they are very reliable, they are negligible heat generation, that means they will not produce any heat, and much faster in computation. They can do the operation very fast. Okay, so much faster in computation and smaller in size. The size of these fourth generation computers are very small and they are easily portable. We can carry it from one place to another because of small size. Totally general purpose. We are using it for general purpose. So these are advantages of fourth generation computer. Now disadvantages of fourth generation computer. So in fourth generation computer also, it requires highly sophisticated technology for the manufacture of VLSI chips. That means highly advanced technology was required for the manufacture of VLSI chips. Now last generation of computer is fifth generation computer. So this is used present and beyond, that means in future. So in fifth generation computer there is a mega chip memories. Okay, in fifth generation computer there is a mega chip memories. Fifth generation computer has the ability to use parallel processing. So in fifth generation computer they have the ability to use parallel processing. In this fifth generation computer they have artificial intelligence. So you might have learned in your previous class when we are seeing the difference between computer and human being have the intelligence to do their work by their own, but computer they do not have intelligence to do their work by their own. We have to give some instruction, then only computer can work. But in the fifth generation computer, these computers are worked with an artificial intelligence. They are knowledge based and will be used for information management. For managing information we can use fifth generation computers. And they are also capable of natural language processing, speech characters and image recognition. So they can recognize the image and characters and speech, and they can do naturally the language processing. Now here you can see the picture of fifth generation computer desktop. So it consists of what capability? Artificial intelligence, and they are knowledge based. They can manage the information. They have natural language processing capability, then speech characters and image recognition quality also. Okay, so they also contain mega chip memories. Okay, mega chip memories. So these are the some of the characteristics of fifth generation computer. So I hope that you all understand about the generations of computer. If you have any doubt, you can ask children. Thank you.